Hi, this is Paul Smulders again, this time with a video about negotiation. What would you do if you are negotiating with someone who is not so friendly, who is very rigid and who is not making any concessions at all? That's a difficult situation, and in this video I would like to explain to you how you could cope with that situation. Now let's take a look at some important aspects of negotiations. The first dimension is creativity. It shows how well you can think out of the box and if you can come up with creative solutions which are in the interest of both parties. A second dimension is power. How much pressure do you put on the other person and how much are you threatening with alternative options? Then we have demand. That's the option which shows your persistence. How many concessions do you make? And how strong are they? And then finally we have relationship. What do you do to create a pleasant negotiation climate? Now we can use this framework to show various negotiation styles. And this is the style of a very rigid negotiator who uses a lot of power, who is very rigid in his statements and in his position, who is not very creative and who doesn't build relationships. The opposite is the pushy style, and that is someone who's very friendly and most probably he cost his boss a lot of money because he's not using any power at all. And then this is the loser style. This is a guy who has nothing, no creativity, no relationship, no power and no persistence. We also have the average negotiator who is exactly in the middle. Now here we have the excellent negotiator. It is someone who is not extremely persistent. He's using power when he needs to. He is friendly and builds relationships, and at the same time he's creative. If we look at an extreme style, then we call this the beast negotiator. Someone who uses all his power, someone who doesn't make any concessions, someone who is not very friendly and at the same time sticks to his guns. That is a situation which is hard for most negotiators. So what would you do if you find yourself negotiating with someone who is a very rigid negotiator, who is locked in a position and who doesn't want to make any concessions? I think first of all it's important to express your concern about it. Explain to the other party that your goal is to come to a deal which is beneficial to both you and the other party, and ask them if that is their goal as well. If it isn't, then there's no reason to continue a negotiation, because you would want to end up with a deal which both parties can live with. A second aspect is that you could explain how important it is for you that you do this conversation in a positive climate, because this may not be the only deal. In the future you have to do business again with each other. So it's important for you to also build on the relation and ask the other person whether that's of importance to him or her as well. And then finally, there's an important aspect, because you should agree on how you are going to negotiate, how you are going to continue this negotiation. And a very good point is that you agree on objective criteria that are comparable to the deal that you are negotiating about, so that you take away any subjectivity and both parties agree on, let's say, market standards or competition kind of deals, which makes it easier to come to a final and acceptable conclusion for both parties. If you do this, then it might be beneficial and you might continue the negotiation in a better way and come to a acceptable solution for both you and the other party. And I wish you good luck in doing that.